Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about things we love like gaming, shows, and anime. Now, most of you who have seen my channel probably already know my opinion towards the game Mortal Kombat Armageddon. It's not a game I highly recommend, it has its ups and downs, but in my personal opinion, I think the negatives outweigh the positives. But one thing for sure is that the intro to the game is fucking amazing. It is by far the coolest intro to any Mortal Kombat game so far. I remember growing up, I always enjoyed a good game intro, and when Mortal Kombat started doing cinematic openings, I really enjoyed them. And after Deception came out, I thought that intro was so badass, but I was always wondering how was the next game going to top off that intro. But then they did it, Armageddon's intro. It is so fucking good that till today, if you watch the intro again, you'll end up seeing things you never noticed. Which brings me to today's video. I'm going to point out all the things you probably didn't notice when you saw this kick-ass intro. So, right from the start, you can see that there's a person standing on top of the cliff. This person is most likely Taven or his brother Dagon. It hasn't been confirmed as far as I know, but when you play the Conquest mode, Taven ends up reaching a very similar location that looks like the cliffs in the background. Now, after everyone charges at each other, you can see that Ermac knocks out Rain with the quickness. He doesn't even look back, he just keeps running forward like he's headed for a touchdown. While that happens, Johnny Cage took on Darius, Nightwolf takes on Melina, and a random character can be seen flying, which is probably Shinnok, and Suhao knocks out Kenshi. In midair, you can see that Raiden is taking on Shinnok, and Shujinko is taking on Cobra. Now, I know everyone saw that Hotaru impaled Li Mei. While a lot of fighters switch taking on opponents, Hotaru is still seen dragging Li Mei onto the ground. Pretty messed up. Also, in case you weren't able to see who hit Kitana hard enough to send her flying, it was Kintaro. Now we get to the scene where Scorpion takes on Sub-Zero. In the back you can see other characters taking on their rivals, such as Kenshi going up against Suhao and Jade taking on Tanya. Fujin can be seen taking on Mavado. Noob Saibot is taking on Ashura, and he lays a good kick to her face. That looks like it was strong enough to knock her out, but she continues fighting. Jax was already fighting Quan Chi while Scorpion and Sub-Zero were fighting. The moment Kung Lao takes on Baraka in midair, you could see that Kitana is taking on Reptile, Rain is facing off against Boraicho, Sindel is fighting against Jarek, and Sub-Zero has switched opponents and is now taking on Hotaru. And the last thing to point out while Kung Lao is fighting Baraka is that Shao Kahn is seen way in the back taking on someone who can't really be identified, but it looks as if this is the first person who gets knocked out by Shao Kahn's hammer. Now, the next thing you might want to look at after Kung Lao and Baraka stop fighting in midair is Shao Kahn. He can be seen behind Jax taking on Rico. He's not even trying to kill the good guys, he's just going for anyone in his personal space. But what happens next is that Shao Kahn knocks out Rico with his hammer. After Shao Kahn kills Jax, right away he takes down another opponent with his hammer, and that is Rico again. He came back just to get knocked out again by the same guy, and after Rico gets sent flying off screen, Johnny Cage gets hit by Shao Kahn's hammer, and then it's Darius who meets the same fate. Then this is the moment where the pyramid starts to come out of the ground. Jarek and Kai are struck by the pyramid, and you can also see that Tanya was near the pyramid and she tries to run off, but the pyramid catches up to her and sends her flying. Now, once everyone heads for the top of the pyramid, you can see that Shao Kahn is still on the ground and he hits someone, and then it's Sindel with his hammer. Here's the cool part. Cabal acknowledges that Shao Kahn is on a major killing spree with his hammer, so he tries to take it from him, but he fails to do so. Once we get to the scene where Shiva takes on Nightwolf and Ermac at the same time, you can see in the back that Shao Kahn has reached the pyramid and he still continues making home runs out of combatants. He knocks out Noob Saibot and then crushes Mavado's skull right away. But another thing to notice is that there is a dead combatant on the pyramid next to Shao Kahn, but a second ago it wasn't there. Maybe this was a mistake, but also there could have been someone trying to reach the top of the pyramid by flying and was taken down. Now over here, this is pretty cool. Shiva's grip must have been pretty damn strong because after she let go, Ermac did not get up. And at first, you think that he does come back because he tosses Quan Chi out of the pyramid, but then it turns out to be Shang Tsung. But the funny thing is that there is so much shit going on here that we didn't even question whatever happened to Ermac if it wasn't him all along. Anyways, going back to where we left off, after Shiva gets taken down, Quan Chi has a badass sword fight against Kenshi, and if you saw the 10 awesome facts on Johnny Cage video, then you'd know what comes next. Johnny Cage shoves Sonya off the pyramid. But also, what you could have noticed from this shot here was that Ermac was still out. After Johnny Cage shoves Sonya off the pyramid, he ends up fighting against Su Hao. You gotta give props to Su Hao for making it this far, especially Johnny Cage. He's already been hit by Shao Kahn's hammer and oh shit, speaking of Shao Kahn, here he comes. And he takes down Baraka. You could see Baraka quickly try to block it, which probably ended up saving his life, or in this case, prolong it by a few minutes. Now, the next thing that happens before Quan Chi impales his sword through Kenshi is that Rain has made it this far, but he quickly gets taken down by, of course, Shao Kahn's hammer. And while that happens, Su Hao takes down Johnny Cage, making them both fall off the pyramid. Now here's a quick mistake that happened in a second. On the ground, you could see that there were still some combatants like Shinnok fighting Baraka and Noob Saibot fighting against Ashura. But after Shang Tsung launches his fireball, there are no combatants fighting on the ground. Now, in case you didn't see exactly who was taken down by Shang Tsung's fireball, it was Sub-Zero, Sindel, Kano, Stryker, Tanya, and Cobra. And this is interesting to see just how many characters Shang Tsung has taken down at once. Shang Tsung has improved, by the way, because he was the only one capable of dodging Shao Kahn's hammer twice. This was by all means a proud moment for Shang Tsung fans. He easily shoves off Shao Kahn, who then gets taken away by Onaga, and then manages to beat Zombie Liu Kang. Zombie Liu Kang does manage to get back up and grab onto Shang Tsung with his hook chains, but if they weren't all in such a rush to make it to the top of the pyramid, then I'm sure he would have turned around and probably tossed them out by turning into Ermac again, or even cooler, he would have turned into human Liu Kang and performed a bicycle kick on him. Now the last thing we see before Blaze is revealed are the combatants that were right behind Liu Kang and Shang Tsung, and it appears that Shinnok and Scorpion were the next ones who would reach the top. This does give them the chance to take on Blaze before anyone else and make either one of their endings be canon to the story. However, in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 9, it is revealed that the last two combatants that were still alive was Raiden and Shao Kahn, so maybe Shinnok and Scorpion were the first two combatants that were killed off by Blaze. And seeing that Zombie Liu Kang and Shang Tsung died in the exact same spot that they were at, leaves you wondering how they died being in the same spot. Their bodies were probably placed there to remind the viewers of where they left off in Armageddon, for sure. But question, didn't Onaga take down Shao Kahn by the end of the intro? This means that even though Shao Kahn was out of breath, he still managed to take down the almighty Dragon King, even though he needed to poison him in the first place because he wasn't strong enough to take down Onaga. I guess Shao Kahn has gotten stronger as well. So that's it, folks. Now you've seen everything that happened in the Armageddon intro. Was it batshit crazy? It sure as hell was. I was surprised to see how many new things I could spot when playing the video in slow motion. It really is hard to tell what is going on in the background, but hopefully now you got to see something new that you missed. And with that said, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please leave a like, share with others, and subscribe if you haven't. And don't forget to click on the little bell icon next to the subscribe button to notify you of every new video that gets uploaded to the channel. And if there's a specific video you'd like to see, just leave it in the comments and you might get to see the video you were hoping for. Also, follow me on Twitter to find out which videos are up next and whatever random posts I make. Anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow, and remember to have an awesome day.